Yo, Eric, we're over here on the paranormal hunt, and I headed over to this other building, and it's number 13. Is this someone on? My God.
Right. Welcome. I think today's Thursday. That's right. Today's Thursday. And I'm so happy to be here. And Anthony's happy to be here. And guys, if you guys didn't watch Anthony's show yesterday, he had a kick butt show yesterday. And his title about the liars and the fakes that come out in these videos, documentaries, and all that. So interesting. Kind of a thought that I had about what else is considered like lying. And I was thinking, there's a lot of questions about ghost adventures, that kind of stuff. So I thought, I'm going to mold the show around ghost adventures in a way, because lying. Now, people in the chat, who's here? Cynthia Prince is here. Pam Smith is here.
Pam, good to see you.
Anthony, in your opinion,
yes,
exaggerating. Now, we know CGI, of course, when you CGI stuff, of course, we know that's lying, or making up stories. Of course, we know that's lying. But when you exaggerate, in a lot of these shows, they say like Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunter, any kind of ghost shows, they exaggerate. In your opinion, is it technically exaggerating in a lot of ways? Could be considered lying? Because it'd be like, if I glance at something for the side, it could be haunting or not, but I look at something and I didn't really look at it even more, and I exaggerate on what I'm seeing. Isn't that technically, in a lot of ways,
this is a big problem today, Eric, where people embellish the truth. They want to get the ratings, so they have to make the show as entertaining as possible. So the networks get them to embellish the truth, and they do it for ratings and for money. And it's a big problem going on today, man. And it is lying. It is 100% a form of lying. If it didn't happen the way you're saying it happened, well, then it's a lie. That's how I look at it.
Because, I started thinking further, because that's why I love watching different shows, like your show, different shows, because it makes you think. There are different ways of lying without changing a picture, changing a video, saying stories. Just exaggerating. And I was reading something. I'm trying to find it. Like Nick Groff was he was one of the original members of Ghost Adventures. Groff. He was one of the original Ghost Adventures. And of course, he left. They never told the exact story, but the story goes that him and Zach butt heads, because technically Nick was a co-creator of the show too, so he got credit as a co-creator.
I think Aaron Goodwin was as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they were all, but Nick and for power wise, Nick and Zach had the most like power of the three for the show, and of course that Nick kind of got it put in the back because Zach had that personality where they want to put him more in front of the camera versus Nick, which. That's a network deal. They find the right, the hot hand. They put the camera behind him because that's the person that drives the ratings. And they couldn't, since they didn't use Nick the way they wanted. The story goes that, they butt heads too much and he was forced to leave. Well, of course we don't know. And, listen, I can believe in something like that because you and I have seen people in all communities, even in the UFO community, Bigfoot community, when somebody gets a little taste of something, they become where they think that I made it. I'm big. I've seen people who become big channels won't even do interviews anymore with certain channels because they're too small enough.
Well, and not even that. Then you got channels that do nothing but abuse and bash other channels for ratings. And I find that very distasteful too.
It really, really, really is. So if you guys don't know, I know everybody here knows what Ghost Adventures is, but here's just a video of a short little thing on Ghost Adventures. Is it gonna freeze again?
Well, that was a good video.
Hold on, let me remove that one.
Yeah,
Let me. Yeah. Sometimes I don't know what it is lately, but sometimes on StreamYard,
Paranormal 60, Judy Wheeler, hello. Casual Conversations with Gina, good to see you.
Okay, let me find. Let me. Where is it? Let me re-get it. Here we go. Let me click on it.
One of my favorite spots.
There was a lot of things happening. There was a lot of, when we first got locked in and that lock finally, deadbolted shut, we felt like we were in a cage with pure evil. It just felt that way. Because I was in a building where there was 29 sworn affidavits from police officers, clergy. These are very credible sources that signed documents stating their paranormal encounters at this place. And they were all bad. They were all attacks. We went into this place, something that's never done before, and we taunted them. We asked them to come out and stand up to us and fight us. And, well, it's not rocket science. I think that's why it happened.
We're near the Hell's Gate. We're near the well. And I know we shouldn't be in there. And I know, we shouldn't be taunting in there because it's not a good place. And we're in there. Nick's doing an EVP in this corner. It's called the jail cell. It's where they used to hold people up in there. And while we're filming, Zach's talking about something going on with him.
Dude, I'm getting like this bad burning sensation on my back.
What?
Like it's burning. Like my whole back is burning.
Where?
Just on my back.
Let me see.
No, but this isn't a tingle. This is kind of like a little burn.
And he starts, panicking a little. Something's on my back. Something's on me. So I'm like, all right, lift up your back. Lift up your back. I grab his shirt. We lift it up. I cannot see his back because we're in pitch darkness.
I can't see with the night vision. Turn your flashlight
It's just
on.
burning. There's like a burning sensation right here. It's somewhere around here.
Oh my God!
What? They took the camera off night vision and they put a flashlight on it. And they clearly saw 3 distinct lines going down my back.
Aaron, do you got that?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Do you have that on your camera? Let me see it.
Yeah, see?
I want to make sure we got that.
It's
I
got.
don't want to. No, I'm not.
Want to get out of here?
Yeah,
Here, this area. Get out of this.
do this.
Go sit out here.
I don't want to do this.
When I got scratched on the back, it was the very, very, very first time that I've actually felt how dangerous this could be.
It was probably mentally one of the most disturbing things I've ever witnessed for me. Zach and I have investigated a lot of locations throughout our years, but this location was probably mentally and physically for Zach and for me one of the most disturbing we have ever witnessed.
Okay, so that was at.
Something's growling at us.
Hold on, sorry about that. That was at Bobby Mackey's, and of course, Bobby Mackey's famous for being haunting and all that.
Yeah.
And the question is Bobby Mackey's really haunted, or was it exaggerated by Ghost Adventures? What is the whole thing? Because Bobby Mackey himself, this was interesting. This is a short 23-second interview. He was with a news channel, and I clipped it down to 23 seconds because the rest of the stuff was talking about his music. But this was interesting on what he said about his place. What is with
Your
StreamYard
computer
today and videos? Okay, hold on. I got to take that off. Why is it doing that now?
Bobby Mackey's is definitely haunted, though. There's been multiple teams that have gone there, and they've all had frightening encounters in that place.
Good time. We got big dance floor, bull riding, wild bull riding,
Yeah.
ghost tours.
Oh, you can go on a ghost tour this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever seen a ghost?
No,
No?
but I don't know if you can see one or not.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Do you believe it's haunted?
No, I don't.
So many people do.
No,
Now,
I know
you
they
have
don't.
a song that for 2 weeks.
Now that's interesting. I'm listening to that like
He was
Does
on
he-
Ghost Adventures telling them how haunted the place is and that he didn't even want them there to film because it was so haunted.
but
What's
he's
that
telling
about?
people right there he doesn't believe in it. And like I said, I don't know if it's for show. He's doing it on purpose because he has ghost tours going on there. But why would you go on TV when you have ghost tours and then you're telling people that you don't believe in ghosts? I mean,
Kind of defeats the purpose.
I know. That's what I was confused about. And I'm not here. Listen, I've never been to Bobby Mackey's. I don't know. I
Never.
know. I think our friend Amber Paraworld, I think she's been there. I'm not sure. I know Nicole Purgatory near. I think she's been. I think some of these people we know have been there. Actually, here we go. Amber, you've been there, right?
She dropped a link, but I don't think she has a wrench. So you
Here's a
won't be
3-minute.
able to click on
Okay.
it.
She doesn't have a wrench. Yes, she does.
Does she? Yes. All right.
Yeah,
So you can click it.
because you can only drop a link if you have a link, and I'm clicking on it, and here we go. I'm gonna go to her video. I just think it's interesting because everybody says it's haunted, but the man himself is coming out saying no, it's not haunted, and this is after he has ghost tours. Like, why would you do that? I mean, you want business, or you know what I mean? It's just I don't get that.
Paranormal Underworld,
I've
yeah.
been to Bobby Mackey's. Yes, Paranormal Underworld's been there. I remember. Let me pull up Amber's video. Instead of going to video, I got to do share screen. Let me see here. Storyline. Here we go. Oh, I got to take the volume off.
After we left the basement, it just kind of ends. I didn't do a proper outro there. I did a little one that was in my last video, but also we went back upstairs into the main area, and we were waiting on this lady to come back in and sell some, merchandise and lock up the building. I had everything packed away in my backpack. It was like I was not filming. We were in the little room that had the shirts and, they sold stuff, said Bobby Mackey's on it. And I walk down this little, toward Carl's door in the casino room, and I'm by myself, and I hear a man tell me to go sit in this chair. So I did it. I don't know why, but I listened to him, and I walked over toward the stage, like where the dance floor is. And I went to go sit in one chair, and he said, no, not that one. So there's another table, and the chair was already turned out like somebody had been sitting in it. So I sit there, and the way I was sitting, if you look kind of diagonal, you could see where the pool tables and the pool was. That's where, it's in the video where the area I was looking for. So I felt hands on my head at that point, and it was like giant hands, but it squeezed my head like this and was just putting so much pressure, just squeezing, and it turned my head this way, and I was looking in that other room. And then while I couldn't move. While I was looking in this other room, I could see his legs, like tall legs, and they were black, and they would, like a shadow, and they would walk across, and then a few seconds later, it'd walk back. And it just did this over and over. He did not say anything else to me at that point, but then I realized I was crying. I have no idea why I was crying. I had tears running down my face. And at some point when this was happening, like the bar was a little bit away from me, but they could see me. So Ryan and my mom were sitting there, and I guess he had told my mom, hey, what's wrong with Amber? She's not moving. She's been sitting there for like 5 minutes and not moving. So I think that at that point when it realized somebody noticed what was going on, it let go of me. And then I immediately started protecting myself, and I got out of there. Like I just immediately got up, and I was like, I'm leaving. But my mom did come over, and I told her what, I was like, there's a shadow over there, and I keep seeing him. She did see him walk across as well. None of this was filmed, obviously. I was packed up, ready to go. So I left, and we just got out of there. We went and got something to drink. We hadn't had nothing to drink pretty much all day. So we were super thirsty and we left.
Wow. Everybody who goes there has experience, but why? Still, my question is, like, why would the owner say it's not haunted and there's no ghosts, but he has ghost tours and everybody goes there, talks about their experience? You know, watch. I'll play it one more time. Everybody listen to him. What he says. Listen to him.
In a row has been #1 on the Music Weekly.
And having a good time. We got big dance floor, bull riding, wild bull riding, ghost tours.
Oh, you can go on a ghost tour this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever seen a ghost?
No, but I don't know if you can see one or not.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Do you believe it's haunted?
No.
But everybody sees ghosts. So I tried to, like, is he doing that for show? You know what I mean?
I don't get it.
Because everybody says they have experience, but and it throws me off, you know. And we're gonna dive a little bit more into Mackey's, but you know, Ghost Adventures. I think it was their first episode, the very first one. Not the documentary, because they did a documentary before the series, and the documentary got picked up where they got the show, and then now. These are some of the things that people say about the show. Now, remember, Nick Groff is not with the show. They got 2 other guys. He left, but they're the original. So I'm going to talk about the original because I have another video of Nick Groff going back to Bobby Mackey's when he wasn't with Ghost Adventures. He was with his 2. Remember, he jumped on like 2-3 different type of shows they were trying to get off the ground. So these like 11 things about them. Now here's one of them. Number 11, Zach's possible overacting on Provolone Island episode, which was actually made into a special. Probably could have earned a lead investigator Zach an Emmy. His attempt to act possessed by the spirits of the island and bring drama was so over the top. Viewers were convinced that none of this could be real. And that's a good point. That's a good point. Can you overdo it to a point where you're like, come on, I was about to believe that it's real, but you're way overdoing it because I don't see a lot of other people getting possessed like that.
I don't get it.
I mean, you know, you and I weren't there. Of course, we weren't possessed, so we don't know exactly how we would act if we get possessed. But was it an overacting? And if it was, isn't that misleading people?
100%.
You know? And guys, I'm not trying to debunk Ghost Adventures. They are real paranormal investigators. They're real paranormal investigators. But they say sometimes when you get in front of a camera, you start to change. Because listen, when Nick left, if you notice, before Nick left, they didn't really have like a lot of, if you watch it now, they got the more music in it. They got more like ghost scenery that has nothing to do with the show. They kind of try to put you in that scary mode. Before Nick, that really wasn't there. And it's like a way of trying to get you into that scare mode so you enjoy the show more.
I look at it like this too, Eric. Once you are a show host and you're doing shows constantly, right? Primarily they were on Friday nights or Saturday nights, right? But once you reach a level of stardom and there's nowhere else to go, and you can't go any higher than where you are, you want to stay at that point, right? So once ratings start dropping a little bit, these channels start to embellish things, right? They start to lie a little. They start to fudge evidence. They start to add CGI stuff in there. They start to rig things to make things happening. You know, cabinets and doors open and closes or fake EVPs because they want to stay on top and keep the audience thrilled and entertained. And that's where I seen that show go. That's what happened to Ghost Adventures near the end. They started to do things like that.
Yep.
That's what I believe. So
here's number 10. The editing team's interference with possible sound paranormal pickups. Okay. Fans of the show are treated to muffle sounds picked up in haunted spaces. We are told the sounds we hear are voices of the unliving, but are they really? Everything is so muted and staticsy. Who knows what is what? Just because the show throws a caption up doesn't mean spirits up for a chat. Now, there's a thing where I studied this, where what happens is you hear a little static, and nobody knows. It could be just static, but once somebody kind of puts a sentence, what they think they're saying, when people hear that, then they're kind of taking that sentence that a person said, planting it there, and then you think that static you heard is an actual EVP. Don't get me wrong. There's some EVPs that are you can tell directly what they're saying, but there's some that are just mostly static, and they say that, like I said, these are rumors. I can't prove it. That some of these investigations that they're on, they weren't really getting anything. So when they did get a little static, they do that trick, trying to force a sentence to make you think
they embellish
they're
it.
saying that.
See, I think Ron, Cosmic Neighbors, got the right idea. He said, I think Zach is an attention grabber because anytime his castmates have something wrong, he has to be the star of the show, and he starts acting like something is happening to him. And I agree with Ron, because we see Zach do that time and time again.
Well, that's part of the main rumor on why Nick left. That they put the camera around Zach. It became Zach's show. Even though there's other people in it, it's really Zach's show.
Mm.
It's almost like they should call it Zach's adventure.
Well, that aggravated me too, because Zach, Nick, and Aaron Goodwin started that. The three of them with 3 cameras, they started that all together. And really, when you really think about it, the person that really kicked the show off the ground was Nick Groff, because his camera is the one that captured the first full-bodied apparition that put that channel, that show Ghost Adventures, on the map.
Oh.
If it wasn't for Nick catching that full-bodied apparition and leaving his camera rolling in that room, and him going back for it and checking the footage and catching it, Ghost Adventures, they probably would have never had stardom like they have today.
I got a hell of a question for the chat. Good people in the chat. Now, there's no right or wrong in this one, but think about this. If myself, Anthony, and Ron are the new Ghost Adventures, we have our own show, which one of us do you think that could possibly, not that we can't, we will be, possibly could become the next Zach? Is it Ron becoming that camera hungry guy? Is it me, or is it Anthony? What do you guys think? Pick one of us. And there's no right or wrong. There's no hurting our feelings. You think we'll be the next Zach? I'm curious. Who do you think will be the Zach of if me, Anthony, and Ron had our show? Anthony's Adventures, I don't know. Ron's Adventures, Cosmic Adventures, I don't care what you call it.
I wouldn't want to be Zach. I would
Me?
be like Nick.
Me? I'll be Zach?
Yeah,
Oh,
you could be Zach. You could be Zach.
I'll be Zach. Okay. Hey, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. You know, so everybody else probably like, no, I'm not going to answer that. I don't want Anthony or Ron think that they're going to become Zach and they're going to be, I'll become Zach. That's awesome. Let me see. Anybody else? Come on, people. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Zach's story is legit from the beginning, though. The attachment of the woman, the same, just gets to the people. None of us here are saying that these those guys are fixed. They're real investigators. They really caught stuff. But I'm talking about the exaggeration stuff, where you start exaggerating, you start becoming the TV show. Let me see here. Let me go down number 9. Claims these adventures are just a couple of dudes with a camera are false. Okay. Let's see. At one point, part of the show appeal was the investigators' man against goal approach. The claim that it was just them and a camera and large production team were not part of their investigation. They might have started out small, but the show definitely now includes a production and an editing crew. Well, now, first of all, guys, you got to understand this part. TV, when you do start out a new show, you really don't have a big crew. You don't have the big budget because they don't know if the show is going to take off. On any show, any show that gets a popularity is going to get a bigger crew, more equipment, more of this. So, that's no fault of them. But in the original days, if you notice, the idea behind the show was 3 guys gets locked inside a building. They don't get out until the next morning. And of course, now they got like 5 people. They got rid of Nick, and now there is no lockdown anymore. They don't do that word lockdown. Bigger production, more cameras, but that comes with any show with the product with a bigger budget. Listen, if Anthony and I are researching paranormal, and people start liking it, and people donated to this channel and stuff, we would buy personally more equipment that we could use. So I don't say that's a hit for any channel, because I know, Anthony, I know if you were able to get more funds, you'll probably buy even a better camera to look for UFOs and stuff.
First thing I do.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
I want to buy a Sony, like a $10,000 movie quality camera, so we can start doing like proper high-end documentaries. Can't do that with the cheapest stuff. What's up, Lee G?
So I don't hit that with them at all. Now here we go. 811. Baiting the ghost is embarrassing to even watch. Okay, hold on. The investigators on Ghost Adventures will do just about anything to get the hidden spirits to come out and play. Actual paranormal experts claim that the taunting they do is the worst way to get spirit interaction. Some of their attempts at drawing the dead into interactions are embarrassing. Well, first of all, everybody we had on, Amber, Anthony, everybody says, be kind to the ghost. We know that.
Be respectful.
It's common sense. You be kind, tell them no, we're not here to harm them. That's common sense. But when you're doing the show, that's all show. I mean, that's all Zach. I'm not saying bad or good, but because if you look at Zach, come on, be honest, people. If Zach goes out there, come on, ghost, come here, come talk to us. Or if Zach comes out here, who touched me? Who scratched that person? Who touched that woman?
Yeah, I hate that, man.
It's more entertaining for the majority of the people, which I don't want to. I'd rather see the nice stuff. I want to see real stuff, but
yeah,
it's they do whatever's ratings, and believe it or not, it's like when people bash other channels and stuff, they do it because it gets more views. It's clickbait.
Well,
so
people bash other channels. People bash other channels, Eric, because their channel actually sucks. So they have nothing else to do but bash others to make everybody think that their channel is great when it really sucks. You know what I mean? That's how that works.
Yep. Number 7. Scenes often get recreated, calling the authenticity into question. Oh, that's a good one. Aaron Goodwill let the cart out of the bag when he claimed that production had a heavy hand in what was said and seen on Ghost Adventures. He claimed that the sound viewers here were not authentic, and several scenes are recreated for more dramatic effect. Goodwin was ultimately fired. He technically said he was fired, but he got rehired because they couldn't. You can't lose 2 original members of the 3. Now, that's true. I don't know if that's true. We weren't there. If they did recreate something to make it scarier, that's falsifying to me. That is just as bad as CGIing, making a fake story.
Absolute.
I mean, it'd be like Anthony and Ron says, "Oh, the hand went away. Ron, hurry up, put your hand on there, recreate it because there was a hand already there."
Yeah, let's do it again to get better timing.
That would be falsifying. Guys, Anthony and them did not do that. I'm just using that as an example. If you're recreating something to get a better sound, I'm sorry, that is wrong. If that's true, and apparently that came out of Goodwin's, he said it. One of the members said that. So I have to believe there is some truth in it.
Ron and I we like to do things very honest. Ron and I were recently on a show about a month ago, and we were playing the EVPs, and it was a part of a video that we filmed that we didn't see yet. And then Ron and I both looked at each other and we said to each other, "Oh my God, that's my voice you caught on the EVP. It wasn't a ghost, it was me." and we did that live on the show. So that just goes to show you the level of credibility we try to bring to a show.
Way too much
Truth-wise.
production.
Yeah, way too
I
much
trust
production.
Aaron.
Right.
I'm shocked he is still there. Listen, Aaron, if Aaron said that, you could probably say you could trust him, but Aaron doesn't have the power like Zach has. So, and the reason Aaron is still there, because Aaron's a smart guy. He's a very smart man. He knows that if he went on his own, he probably wouldn't have a successful show if he stayed on Ghost Adventure. That's just a fact. I mean, Nick has never recreated the success he had on Ghost Adventures on his own. He kept jumping like different shows.
Nick's doing great. He's with what's her name, Wildman right now. They're doing great.
He's on different shows, but I'm talking about rating wise. He's never matched whatever goes. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying they're not like be successful.
Because the three of them together were like unstoppable. You know what I mean? You break them
Aaron
apart.
Probably makes more money if he stays on Ghost Adventures because you do still got to have a certain personality, especially if you host a show. Nick has that where you could see that he could be a leader. He's just not an overt actor like Zach is.
You know what bothered me the most about Zach? That he wore the mask every single time. You could never hear what he was saying with that respirator on. No, I understand he had asthma and, he had problems. But you're doing a ghost show. You're going to go into these dark, dank areas and, there's going to be mold and whatnot. And I just hated the fact that you could never hear what he was saying with that mask on,
And look at this. Zach spends most of his time yelling at dust in the air. When people team up with the cast of Ghost Adventures, a lot of yelling takes place in an attempt to get unliving all hot and bothered. Hot and bothered. There's a good song by Cinderella that sings that song. Awesome song. You guys should check it out. Many of the folks who have accompanied Zach and the gang swear that the investigators just scream and eliminate dust particles hanging out in the air of abandoned spaces. I mean, that's possible. I'm sure. I'm sure that of all the yelling that you do, some are dust particles, some are not. How many of him yelling to nothing? That's the question. How many? I'm sure if Anthony and I go to a lot of investigations, we hear something. I might look like yelling in the air, but I'm yelling because I heard something. So the question is he doing it when he hasn't heard nothing? He's just doing it for the camera. I mean, that's the real question.
I think he does do that from time to time.
Yeah. And remember, guys, these are all speculations. None of us has been there.
Yeah, exactly.
None of us been on the set to see them live. I mean, it's speculation. Number 5, the hosts make up what ghosts have asked them. Because honesty, who would know any different? One tag along to the investigators revealed that Zach Bargan disclosed that a ghost once asked him to strip down to his birthday suit. Okay. Okay. It's one thing to embellish, the whole other thing to make up malarkey like this. Sometimes people start believing in their own hype. And that's now he could be lying, joking with this guy. I don't know. But it is scary when people start believing in their own hype. The most scariest villains are the ones who believe what they're doing is for the right reason. Those are the scariest, not just because they're sick or doing it for a show. They start believing that they're doing something for the good. If Zach really thinks they told him strip down in his own mind, yeah, he's pretty much an actor. I mean, he's pretty much believing in his own hype that he is the god of the paranormal.
Yeah.
Like I said, we don't know him. Shit, we might have a beer with him, and he could be the most nicest, honest guy in the world. But
probably go meet him if we go down to that haunted museum he purchased in Vegas.
Now, when ghosts don't show up, the investigators make up excuses. Okay, here we go. Of course they do. It wouldn't look so great for the cameras if they simply said, well, we were wrong. No ghosts up in here. This kind of reality show is subjective at best. And when the results are less than par, the investigators come up with all sorts of reasons as to why they didn't get great footage. Listen, if you talk to any real paranormal investigator, they will tell you 7 out of 10 times they catch nothing.
Right. It either happens or it don't.
Yeah. I remember talking to my friend Purgatory of New York, like they go back to the same place 7 times and nothing's ever happened until maybe the last day. Or they go investigations that you're not guaranteed that something's going to happen.
Exactly.
Every spot you go to. And if it does, I call bullshit on that. I call Anthony, how many nights you go out and look for something you can't identify from the sky? Do you see a UFO every single time you go out?
I've been out for the past month and I haven't filmed anything. Not a dot in the sky have I seen in the past month. Zero. Nothing. So
it's being there at the right time.
It's frustrating, but right place, right time. When it happens, it happens.
Yeah. And that's a real investigation. It's when people start making up stuff when they start not seeing something. I remember on Chad Smith podcast show, they interviewed a guy that's actually has a tour right here in Seattle. And this guy actually was on a guest appearance with ghost hunters when they were in Seattle. It was so interesting listening to this guy talk about that experience. He goes, believe it or not, when you watch ghost hunters, it looks like they're there the whole night, which technically they are, but because all the cameras, everything they have to put up, technically they only really truly investigate out of a whole 6-8 hour night, an hour or two. Because most of the time it's setting up the cameras and all that. And I'm just thinking to myself, that's interesting because what if you're a ghost, right? I'm just speculation. You're a ghost. And you're seeing all these people setting up cameras and stuff. I don't know. I might skip this night.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Too many people there. Too many. And what happens when you have too many people? You don't know what you're hearing because there's too many workers. I mean, when you hear a click, knock, it could be the 20 workers setting things up.
Right.
And that's the problem when you have too many people. You got too many interference that could happen because of that. Number 3, the investigators are really overly dramatic. Listen, I don't have to read that. We know that. I mean, we know that. Actually, let me hold on a second. If somebody asked me, Eric, if you had to pick a show that you think it's more real, Ghost Adventures versus Ghost Hunters. If I had to pick one, I'm not saying one's more true than the other. I'd probably choose Ghost Hunters because at least when I watch Ghost Hunters, and this is true because my daughter, I show my daughter both shows. My daughter likes Ghost Adventures better because it's more exciting.
Yeah.
And that's why I would pick Ghost Hunters to be a little bit more real because they're not always running around being scared. They actually do an investigation, probably how most paranormal do it. Yes, there's some music, I get that, but they less act versus Ghost Adventures.
Right.
But because when my daughter says she likes Ghost Adventures better, that's why Ghost Adventures does it because it captures the young people.
Mm-hmm.
I love when my daughter.
And I like the fact on Ghost Hunters that Steve Goncalves is a cop, and he uses his law enforcement training in the field of the paranormal when it comes down to investigative purposes. So I like that part of it too.
And I don't know the Ghost Hunters background, but were those two guys really work for a plumbing company? I do have to question that.
Ruda. Yeah, they sure did.
But as much as they made it like I know it's a company that sponsors the show and all that, but during the day they were working for Rooter, and then at night they go ghost hunting on the show.
I used to love that show intro when it starts off as them as Rooter plunging toilets and stuff, and then they
exactly
Babs van. I used to love that ad. That was great.
The thing is about that, there's something that does make sense about it. And what I mean is when people who work on plumbing or any kind of things like inside of a house, they actually do know house sounds.
Well, yeah, you get a lot of strange noises from pipes.
Make. So bringing a plumber with you, people who work on pipes, that
Great
is
idea, right?
no-brainer.
Yeah,
Because they
great
know
idea.
certain sounds, the creaks, because they're there working on it. People who
Yeah.
put in fireplaces, they know those sounds. So I would bring somebody from that field in because they
Sure.
know the sounds. Because that's what you're doing, right? Trying to debunk. It's like, what can recreate that sound?
That's
They
right.
have a heads up because they've heard it before.
I mean, when everybody goes to sleep tonight in your home, one of you stay up on your couch, keep the TV low, stay up for about an hour, and just listen to your house settle at night. You'll hear the stairs, creak. You'll hear things pop in the kitchen. You'll hear the drip from the faucet. You may hear the toilet flush by itself. All these things happen. And to a person that doesn't know, regular household sounds, you would think a house is haunted with those sounds,
Yeah. Here's number 2. Aaron gets sent out alone out of love. Investigators Aaron is often seen being sent out on paranormal missions all by himself. When Zach was asked why this, he responded, "Because I love him. That is the way I show my love." Maybe these guys do have strange brotherhood. First of all, blah, blah, blah. If you're a paranormal investigator, that's all acting. Listen, you're an investigator. You're going to have to go to rooms by yourself. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
But him acting like he's scared. Now, I'm not saying you're not scared at all, but that's part of acting, because if you're going to investigate ghosts, you're going to be on your own in some rooms. I'm sorry. That's part of being an investigator. And
Right.
if you're still scared at the many years that they've done it, and when you got camera people there to protect you, come on. That part is acting.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like Anthony and them, like me, Anthony, and Ron, we're all doing all these investigations, and Ron's too scared to go. Actually, maybe Ron would be too scared to go by himself in the room.
You're too scared. Leave Ron alone. You're too scared. Leave my boy alone.
Okay, but listen, in the beginning, like I said this before, when I used to climb a 32-foot ladder in the poles for the cable company, in the beginning, yes, your heart does pump. You're like off the ground.
Oh, hell
But
yeah.
after years of doing it, it
You
becomes
just do it.
second nature.
Sure.
I climb up there like nothing. Like I'll bounce around on purpose, which I'm not supposed to. They didn't hear that. But
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
on purpose
You're
till
not
you
scared
fall
no
off
more.
it.
You're not as scared as they make it. So that part to me is acting. Number 1, a feature couple on the show met at ultimately end. Debbie and Mark appear in Ghost Adventures searching for paranormal answers. Following their show appearance, the couple became embroiled in some heavy issues, and ultimately they both lost their lives. Hold on a second. Oh, actually, hold on.
Oh, I remember this when they passed.
I got a video of those two. Hold on.
I remember them.
Where 3 shot a creepy ghost.
He was bald and she had like brown hair. Yeah, I remember that.
Maybe
too.
is this it? Hold on. No, that's not it. I thought. Oh, here it is. Okay, I do. There is a clip in about those people. So this video I'm going to show you guys is called Actually, that's why I don't see it in my folder, because I have it on my regular screen. It was the last video.
Is that the name of the clip?
It's called The Untold Truth of Ghost Adventures.
Okay.
And part of it is with that group. Here we go. Hold on a second. It's I don't know what's going on with StreamYard. I have it here. Don't worry. I don't know why it's doing that. Here we go. Oops.
Whether you're a believer or a skeptic, you have to admit that Ghost Adventures is pretty darn entertaining. Yet there's more to this series than just investigating creepy abandoned areas with extensive paranormal histories. So let's investigate the untold truths behind the guise of Ghost Adventures. Zach's Spooky Collectible. Whether you love or hate Zach the Ghost Bro Bacon style, he puts his money where his paranormal loving mouth is, whether cameras are rolling or not. In August 2015, Bacon's plunked down $32,000 for a van that belonged to Dr. Jack Kevorkian, who notoriously assisted with the suicides of 130 confirmed patients. Bacon says he doesn't plan on using the vehicle for Ghost Adventures, but he does intend on investigating the van. He told the New York Daily News, I want to have it to show
money.
recognition to these people and the
Good
energy they
gimmick.
had at the time of their death. I can't wait to get it and see what I feel off of it. It called out to me. That's one heck of a collectible,
They
bro.
probably do a documentary on that.
The
now.
macabre extends
There
to
we
their
go.
real
There they
lives.
are.
Reality can be a lot scarier than any haunted house.
Yep, that's them.
Paranormal investigators Mark and Debbie Constantino were featured on Ghost Adventures, and now may be featured posthumously on a true crime series. KRNV-TV reports that the couple had a long, dark history of domestic violence. That history came to a tragic head in September 2015 when Mark killed Debbie, as well as himself, after an extensive SWAT team lockdown. Too scary even for them. Big.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, some people try to say they were possessed. Listen,
Bullshit.
we gotta take out the ghost possessions from reality. There are people that there's claims of possessions. We know that, but not everything.
If there's domestic violence on the record, I worked with domestic violence cases for many years, and 9 times out of 10, the husband beats the wife stays with the husband, and nothing ever changes until something tragic, happens. Unfortunately, maybe 1% of women or husbands leave a domestic situation and get away unscathed. It's terrible.
Did Harry Man says I got to touch that van? Oh, that's cool.
It was ominous.
Cool. Let's see what else it has.
Higgins purchased a Gary, Indiana home in 2014 after reports that the
Made a
family living within it
documentary.
were terrorized by demons. These reports were backed up by claims from Child Protective Services, who also witnessed the creepy activity. Problem was, the house was actually too scary even for Bagans. TMZ reports that while filming a documentary in the home, Bagans felt dark energy and claimed the demons were the real deal. Bagans tried exorcising the house but said his attempts failed. Believing the house was actually a portal to hell, Bagans paid to have the house demolished in 2016, and even had the rubble stored in a sealed facility so no paranormal energy could escape from it and affect anyone nearby. Phew! Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to see.
I'm sorry.
I know, there's no paranormal escaped when the house got knocked down right there, right? Before he sealed it.
I'm sorry. I call bullshit on that one.
100%.
100%. Oh, we're gonna store the wood, and like the ghost is gonna
Come on.
absorb into the wood of the house. Like we're gonna.
Come on now.
If there was truly a gate to hell in there, come on. That's it's all money. It's all great for a show. It sounds great. It sounds awesome. And you know what? There probably is some wood trap or wherever so there's at. It's probably just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a tiny bit, not the whole house. Come on.
Come on now.
Now, Nick Groff left the show and he went back to Bobby Mackey's, and here's a video of evidence that apparently he captured at Bobby Mackey's.
You hear that? Something's growling at us.
Man, my whole body is shaking right now.
What was that?
Whoa. Shadow just moved into that room really fast. There's something following me. You feel how cold it is all of a sudden? This thing's been following me down here. I want to try to connect with you right now.
What the?
Right now, we are at Bobby Mackey's Music World in Wilder, Kentucky, and I am standing in the basement with the one and the only Bobby. Thank you for meeting me back down here.
Thank you.
So I'm curious because now you guys heard Bobby Mackey's on that news. Hey, guys, I pause it sometimes just in case so YouTube don't think I'm playing a live show, and that's when they take down the video because they think you're playing a live show. But remember, he was on the news channel, says he never saw a ghost or he doesn't believe in ghosts. And my question is, then why is he inviting people to get there? Is it just for publicity to get people to go to the bar? I mean, I wish Bob Mackey would come on our show so Anthony and I can ask him these questions. Why say this, but you do this?
Nick, welcome back.
Thank you. It's been a crazy journey so far. And we had a camera over there, a camera on me, and we were sleeping. And all of a sudden, on our camera, we saw this energy form way back here. It kind of manifested, and it was really small. It started as a transparent thing. And you remember seeing that footage I showed you where it just started manifesting?
It was like a ball. It was just moving.
Right. And it's like, it almost looks like an energy form, where it looked like there was energy form, like plasma or something, where it had this trace that it was releasing from this ball of energy. And when it was moving past the lens of the camera, that's when you could get a good look at it. But
Well, I couldn't believe it when you showed it to me. It just, it was just.
Look, if I would have, if a regular person that wasn't Nick who put this out, I'm not saying it's not CGI. It's not, but I would have thought that somebody CGI'd that energy there. But I don't know if Nick and them would CGI it and put it on TV because it'd be debunked too easily.
How would you CGI that? I mean, that looks pretty legit to me.
I'm sure there's got to be a way.
I don't know. That looks too real.
I'm not saying I don't think that's CGI. I don't. But if it came from another person, I would think that.
It looks good. Is there more to this video clip? Oh yeah, let's see.
Really taken aback, but there's got to be some energy there. Given the history of this building, the history of this site.
That's not dust particles. We know that.
There's a whole lot there.
Hell no.
There's so much history.
I'm so grateful to cross paths with you and talk more openly about what we experienced, this ball of energy.
Yeah. It did move nice and slow too. So it wasn't, it's not a dust particle because they move a lot faster. This thing did move very slowly. If that's the real deal, if that's the real energy, it did move nice and slow where it's not a particle, it's not a bug, because a bug wouldn't stay in that position for that long a period of time.
I don't know.
I mean, it's interesting
that we captured. And
thank you, and I'm glad we've became good friends through it all.
Yeah, absolutely,
and
thank you.
You can't take good friends away.
No, you can't. That's the best part. You can get rid of the spirits, but you can't get rid of good people, right?
But yeah, I'll leave the spirits up to you.
just.
Let's go back and let's look at that ball of energy again.
Yeah.
Let's start it from the beginning. Oh, okay, here we go. Here we go. So you see it starting out where the pole is, or whatever that is, on the middle to the left.
Yeah.
Camera, we saw this energy form way back here. It kind of manifested, and it was really small. It started as a transparent thing. And you remember seeing that footage I showed you where it just started manifesting?
It was like a ball. It was just moving.
Right. And it's like, it almost looks like an energy form, where it looked like there was energy form, like plasma or something, where it had this trace that it was releasing from this ball of energy. And when it was moving past the lens of the camera, that's when you could get a good look at it. But
well, I couldn't believe it when you showed it to me. It just, it was just, really taken aback. But, there's got to be some energy there. Given the history of this building, the history of this site, there's a whole lot there. There's so much history.
I'm so grateful to cross paths with you and talk more.
If you look at the very top half of the orb, it looks like, I don't know, there's weird motion on the top of it. Did you notice that? There's weird movement on the top of the orb. Look on the very top crest of the orb. It looks, when you let it just play.
There's a whole lot there. There's so much history.
I'm so grateful to cross paths
with you
and talk more openly about what we.
So with him seeing video footage like that, again, why would he go on a news channel and say, I've never seen one? I mean, I guess if he didn't see it personally, he's seen it on a videotape. I guess it's not.
Maybe he meant he didn't see it with his own two eyes. He's seen it after the fact, I'm assuming.
And then I have here where Nick talks about that on a news channel. Well, again, these videos. Again, it's just like, you see here. Is this it?
Paranormal Lockdown kicks off tonight on Destination America, and we are joined now by one of the co-hosts. Nick Groff is here with us this morning. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So we're excited to have you here, and particular because you spent time at one of our local favorites, Bobby Mackey's, which is known amongst many circles to be haunted at least, but even maybe more than that. But first, tell us, for folks who may not have seen your series, tell us a little bit about what you guys do on Paranormal Lockdown.
Yeah, so Katrina and I, we go into locations that are reportedly haunted for 72 hours.
And if you didn't know, his partner on that show is the girl who partners up with Osborne.
Jack Osborne.
Jack Osborne, forgetting their show.
On another show too before Jack Osborne. Another paranormal show as well. I can't remember.
God, no, I'm just like I'm forgetting
Oh,
the name.
was it Penn State Paranormal or Paranormal
No,
State?
that Penn State. That's Penn State
Paranormal.
is that young kid who got arrested.
Yeah, he was another hoaxer.
Um,
Oh man,
I'll look it
I
up.
can't
We
remember.
live there, we become a part of the environment, and we see what happens. We document all sorts of weird things that happen. And Bobby Mackey's, I have history with. It's super haunted, but not only that, the music's great, number
Yeah,
one.
right.
It's Bobby.
They have the
you can't
bull.
you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
I've ridden the bull way back in the day. Matt, the security guard there, he's a great friend of mine. But
Paranormal State was what
Bobby
you're
Mackey's
thinking of.
is just like
The
such
show that
mystery
he's on,
behind the basement. The
Portal to
basement
Hell.
holds this more negative impression of something that happened there. And we truly don't know what's exactly going on, but there's something really weird. Upstairs, it's happening, it's positive vibes, but downstairs it's more of like this negative kind of feeling that you get when you walk into that area. It's dreadful.
Yeah.
And last time I went there, I had kind of these feelings that followed me after, and it was like this dark cloud over my head that just was like an energy that followed me home, and I swear I would never go back, but I had to face my fears. So that's the main reason why I went back, because I felt there were so many more layers to uncover, and there was so much more history that I was missing. And when we went back and we lived there for 72 hours, we uncovered something I've never seen before, and it was absolutely amazing.
Are you able to tell me a little bit, or do we have to wait for the episode because
No,
it's
no,
on
I'll
December
tell you.
11th? Okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you, because I want everyone to see this, because
Okay.
I'm one of those logical thinkers. I'll try to rule it out or
Right.
debunk it and say it's environmental or stuff like that. But there was this ball of energy, what I call an energy form, that manifested for 8 minutes on camera when we were sleeping in the basement, and I was in this hammock over the well, where they call it the portal to hell.
Right.
And I wanted to see if I could push myself mentally and physically to document more happenings. And this energy form just manifests in the back of the basement and starts hovering and floats and grows in size and becomes this energy form. You can almost see this plasma around it where it's tracing this energy as it's moving towards the camera. I still get goosebumps
I'm
talking
getting
about it.
goosebumps right now.
Because we were getting so much intelligent responses from the other side with a lot of high-tech equipment that we brought down there to document and validate not only our experiences, but what else is happening there. And this energy form blew me away. I showed Bobby afterwards, because he's owned it for 40 plus years, and he even said, I've seen all sorts of stuff, I heard the stories, I'm more skeptical, but this right here really opened my mind up to new possibilities of saying, okay, maybe there is something weird happening here.
Oh my goodness. And so we only have a few seconds left, but did it seem like that energy was like a negative energy, or just could you even tell?
I think it's manifested over time to something that we call almost like a topa, like a thought form.
Okay.
Something that has been created by some other energy that came and manifested there. Hundreds and thousands of people have come there looking for these paranormal encounters like myself. And I think over time it's taken on its own entity. And it's something totally different now. So I don't know what it is, to be honest with you, but it scares me at times.
So do we believe, after
He,
everything I
he,
heard,
he works very good with Katrina Wildman. They're a great team when they go out together. They work very, very. They complement each other. I like that show with them.
oh yeah, and what show is he on a show
Paranormal
now?
Lockdown one. What's that?
Is he on a? I haven't seen him recently on any shows.
Yeah, I don't know if they recently did one, but they were doing shows where they were going to different locations and getting locked down together, and they were really, really good.
Yeah, I remember Paranormal Lockdown. That's when they went to like a town that was supposed to be like purely haunted, and they stayed there for like a week or so.
Right. It was just them two filming themselves. It was really, really good show.
Yeah, and it's fun, not funny, but that company, Discovery Channel, it's like every investigator they hop on another show like well, that was good, but let's team me up with this person. Let's have this show.
Well,
they need some new blood like us.
That's the best part about getting hooked up with a major network. They can hook you up with whoever you want to work with. You know what I mean? They don't care who they put you in touch with, as long as they get the ratings. They'll put you in touch with to work with whoever you want, as long as the ratings are there.
Yeah. Can you imagine them getting us?
I pray every day. You have no idea.
We'll go to Bobby Mackey's. I want to see it once and for
I'll
all.
sleep in the hole in Bobby Mackey's.
Listen, I've never been to Bobby Mackey's. Can I
Yeah.
honestly tell you that it's haunted? Of everything that I've heard, personal people that we know that has been there, I take Amber's Paraworld's word over any one of these people, even over Nick any one of them. If she says it's haunted, then I gotta believe there's something there.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
real people. So I would love to walk around, but it is weird that the owner. I heard him other interviews too that it's just so weird because that guy doesn't. It's got to be a show like a cowboy act or something to act like there's nothing there, but since people believe in it, I'm gonna have tours and all that. Or is it just a money thing to try to people prove him wrong that there is something there? I don't know. But god damn it, Anthony, having a haunted place now is not like back in the day.
Nah.
You can make money off a haunted house because when people
sure
do investigations at places, a lot of these places you got to pay money. A lot of these abandoned hospitals, you see these TV shows with investigations, they pay money.
The Kreischer Mansion wants $800 from me to go film there for 10 hours. The place me and Ron want to go.
How much?
It wants $800 for me to go film for 10 hours. It's almost $100 an hour, just under.
And that's where you almost have to have a big group because you got to split the cost.
Yeah.
It's like it's
not like the place is open and they make money there or anything. You know what I mean? They rent it out to a couple TV networks throughout the year. They film whatever. And now I'm like, it's just me and another guy. We're just going to come in there and film for a couple hours. It's only going on YouTube.
House. You got to pay money to do an investigation there. I mean, it's weird
crazy.
now. If you could prove somehow that or get people to believe your place is haunted, you can make money off investigators checking it out.
You sure
And
can.
that's the thing, Anthony, for this last conversation before we end the show, do you think there's something to it where if I go, hey, Anthony, this place is really haunted, we're going to go in this place, and now I told you some history, and say you didn't even do your own research, you're taking my word for it. You believe if I tell you that this place is haunted, this has happened, that I'm already kind of planting that stuff can happen here, and when you're walking in there, because people always say,
you mean
manifesting? Feel the air change? Do you feel like this? Can that happen if you already pre-print something in your mind that this place is scarier than you investigating it?
Yeah, I've heard of that before, manifesting. I've heard it works, but it's not like, I'm going to start manifesting things to happen on the way there, and then you get there and they happen. I think you have to put your intent on the place for quite some time, and then it could happen, Really not 100% sure how that works.
It'd be kind of a cool experiment. Maybe one day, way in the future, we don't tell Ron about something, and we'll make up this whole story about this house on purpose, just planning ahead to see if he goes in there and maybe a little extra scared or not.
Poor Ron. Poor Ron. He's going to kill you when he watches this replay.
we won't tell just to prove, because sometimes the mind minds can overreact, and especially if you're telling somebody, and I don't know what the answer is. All I say is
people believe that you can will your intent out into the future, and if you believe with every fiber of your being that you're going to come into a lot of money or your luck is going to change for the better, and if you keep willing that out into the future, people say eventually it will happen. Same thing with synchronicities. One day you're talking about an old friend that you haven't seen for 20 years, and then the next day you go out shopping with your wife, and there's that friend that you haven't seen for 20 years. Those crazy synchronicities happen all the time. So I think it's possible to will what you want to happen in the future and to have it come true.
And again, people, before we leave, I am not here saying Ghost Adventures are frauds or nothing, because I don't know them. I have never been on investigation with them.
You're a great channel.
Do I feel they're overacting? You damn right I feel.
Yeah.
Do I feel they exaggerate on a lot of stuff? Damn straight I do. And sometimes I do feel that exaggerating just as bad as making up a story or CGIing, because
exactly, Tommy G. The power of positive thinking is based on all of that. Exactly. Law of attraction. Yes, Mike Johnson. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Maybe one day, you guys never know. Maybe, remember, I had two mediums. Two mediums says that something special is supposed to happen That's going to be for me for before the end of February. So I'm waiting for that special thing that's going to happen. Maybe that special thing is saying
maybe we'll
we
get
want
a
to sponsor
movie,
Eric and Anthony to go all these places.
Maybe we'll get a documentary deal or a movie contract to do a documentary. Who knows, man? Crazier things have happened.
And crazy things, or maybe some company just wants to pay that $800.
Maybe somebody wants to sponsor the cartoon and put it on a Cartoon Network or something. What's the name of that Cartoon Network that's for adults? Skims? Is that it? Skims?
Adult Swim?
Adult Swim. UFO Man told me yesterday we should pitch Adult Swim because we can definitely get the cartoon on there.
Yeah, Adult Swim does the crazier ones that take chances on.
If we get on there, we can use cursing and nude, topless, Medusa and all kinds of cool stuff. We can make it more adult.
Come on. I'm a good American clean boy. I don't say bad words.
Yeah. Your hair just went on fire. You're lying.
Come on. Actually, I forgot what they're called. People who walk down the aisle in the church. Young kid holding something.
An altar boy.
Altar boy. I'm an altar.
I literally could see the devil sitting on your shoulder from here, whispering in your ear. Eric, who you kidding?
The devil. Come on. But beyond that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. Today's a little different. I thought we'd talk about Bobby Mackey's and talk about some of these shows, Ghost Adventures. What do you guys think? And thank you so much.
Cynthia Prince, you're a sweetheart. Thank you so much. You're always looking out for the shows, and we can't.
You got a special show today. Let me show your channel up. Let me pop that up. Let me pop it up because you got a special engagement show today that came out unexpectedly. At first, I thought Sunday you have.
If you folks missed the show that Eric and I did yesterday, we did a show on the lies they told in UFO land about Linda Moulton Howe, Corey Good, Dr. Stephen Greer, and David Wilcock. And the show did great. It's doing great. If you have not checked it out, please do, because I've gotten well over 400 emails from people that said the show was great. They really enjoyed it. So if you didn't check that out, please do. And then tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to go live, and we're gonna do Talk with S4. And I'm going to be there. I don't know if Eric's going to be available, but he's always welcome. So this episode's going to be called Night Talk with S4, and maybe I'll have a few people come up on the panel, and we're just going to talk about all the weird and wacky things that are going on in ufology today. And maybe if anybody wants to come up and tell some stories about UFOs, ghosts, cryptids, you're more than welcome to. I'll end up dropping a link in the chat, and we'll do that for about an hour. So it should be fun. So come hang out with us.
Night talk. I like that.
Yeah, but yesterday's show did really good. Then I have UFO Man coming on the 8th of January. He's probably going to come on with Tom Reed, who was famous for the Berkshire UFO incident. So that'll be this episode right here. I'll have UFO Man. He said he's going to tell Tom Reed to come on. Like I said, he's famous for the Berkshire UFO incident, so most likely Tom Reed will be there with us for that. He's very famous in the UFO community. Then, of course, this Sunday, we have Purgatory Paranormal New York. She'll be joining Eric and myself and Ron this Sunday. That's going to be a dynamite episode. And then next Wednesday, we're going to do Emery Smith and David Wilcock and get into their backstory and everything they tried to sell the public. So the next couple episodes are going to be dynamite. So please come hang out with us. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And actually, guys, on Monday, I'm going to try to do something very interesting on Monday. Because Sunday night, New Year's is Saturday, of course, but a lot of companies, they have Monday off. But my wife actually has to work downtown. So we're actually going to be staying in a hotel in downtown. And I was thinking about when I do the live show, I want to do it where I can walk around the streets of Seattle, dancing them, and ask people if they believe in UFOs or Bigfoot, trying to get the feel.
Hey, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll go out to New York City, and I'll film live from New York City, and then we could get together and put the whole thing, you in Seattle, me in New York, and maybe Ron will meet me, and we can go live, and we can edit it and put it together and make a video of it.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Because my wife's gonna be at work Monday morning, and I'll be in the hotel by myself until she's done. So I'm thinking, what if I do a live show, walking around the streets, and and see if people will even talk to you.
It just dawned upon me Saturday night, New Year's Eve. I didn't even think about that, man.
Yeah, because New Year's is actually Sunday, but the party's Saturday night.
Well, New Year's Day, Sunday, right? But
yeah,
New Year's
and the thing is, my wife has to work that holiday Monday because no matter what, the court system still has to run.
You're right.
So they have to have somebody to be able to push the paperwork through on Monday. So, and she volunteered, and I'm like, I'll take advantage because I'll be downtown walking around, ask people, because what else I got to do? See this crazy guy wearing a hat.
Downtown Seattle, do they drop a ball? Do they block off the street and have a party?
They do. We have a Space Needle.
Oh, okay.
The famous Space Needle, and they do fireworks show off the Space Needle.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool. I think last year was freezing cold or something, but we don't usually go down there. We watch it on TV because we're at that part where if you try to go down there and watch it in person, the traffic that's in that downtown is just so freaking nuts. And the city, I mean, when you try to find parking, they charge because in events $40 and all the way up.
New York City, if you want to go to Times Square, you got to get there like 6 o'clock in the morning the day of. Once you get in the corral, you can't go out to pee or buy food or nothing. You're stuck there till after the ball drops. That's it. If you leave, you're assed out. You ain't getting back in. You got to go through metal detectors and canines and the whole 9 yards.
But beyond that, people, I want all of you have a great day, and I'm going to try to throw something together tomorrow. This week's kind of weird because my wife has vacation this week, so that's why I never know where I'm at during the day. Yeah. But you guys are all awesome, and Tim Mimmer and his show is coming
Hang out tonight.
Special night show, so come and check it out. Beyond that,
good night. See you later.
Day, everybody.
Love yous.